"33 children from Deptford are going on a holiday arranged by the Noah's Ark Children's Venture.
Cherry on top of the toilet roll. Wait tomorrow, make up. Wait tomorrow, make up. In the bed, down the little one said, roll over. So they all rolled over and the one fell out. And the devil in the bed, and the little one said, roll over. In the way, catch you, it'll give you a month or two. They tie you up in wire behind a black Mariah. So ring your bell, feeling like I want a bicycle made of a tube of dynamite hanging on the wall. 9 sticks of dynamite hanging on the wall. And if 1 stick of dynamite should accidentally fall, there'd be 8 sticks of dynamite hanging on.
I've lived in this block of flats for 14 years. I've had 11 children and 2's married now and I'm left with 9. There's nothing for them in here. All the chutes are blocked. There's no lights on the stairs. We're just forgotten in here. I was dreading the summer holidays coming, but the Noah's Ark group's got a scheme to take the children away for the whole 6 weeks in the summer holidays. And some of mine went to Norfolk and they enjoyed it very much. It's better than being in here.
My wife turned off and left me 3 years ago with 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. And it's very difficult for me to bring up 3 kids how I would like them to bring up. Sometimes I want to go on a holiday, and through the money I can't get to send them. It's a real strain on me to go to work every day and come in and tend to the kids. So they get in touch with someone to take them out on a holiday and give me a little rest.
This is Deptford Adventure Playground. The Noah's Ark Children's Venture is a charity based at the playground. It was started in 1970 when the play leaders got together with the youth leaders and teachers from the area. The flats all around the playground were halfway houses and there were a lot of problems among the children. We'd seen during the last summer many of the children not going on holiday and quite a number of the older boys and girls getting into trouble.
I moved from Croydon because I thought it would be better for the children after my husband left us with the 4 children. And I fetched him up here to Deptford, hoping that he would mix with the right sort of children to sort of... Well, he was my main worry out of my 4 children, Tony was. And I thought by getting up here and the holiday being arranged for all the children here, that it would do in the world of good, get him away from all the sort of wrong children and putting him on the right road to sort of behave himself. The situation we're going through at the moment is, you know, rather unbearable. And I think the holiday for the children is a marvellous idea because I wouldn't be able to give them one. They've got the freedom of almost everything they can think of, you know, whereas it gives me freedom as well and to sort of sort my own mind out at the same time.
And in some parts of the house it was 300 or 400 years old, some of the stones and that. The outside, like, it was red bricks and was like flint chippings set in concrete. And one week there was 52 of us down here. And there was about 6, 7 bedrooms in there and 2 toilets. In the house, like, it was where the breakfast was, it was just around by the back garden.
Quiet a moment, everybody. As soon as you've had your breakfast and gone upstairs and made your beds, come downstairs, and on the grass we're having a very important meeting. Okay? Everyone must be there. As soon as you've gone upstairs and made your beds, okay?
Right, now the thing is you're in the country now, and instead of being surrounded by flats and houses, you're surrounded by fields. And if you look around on that field over there, through the hedge, you'll see holes. And it's very attractive to want to run into the field and run about. But you can't do that because, listen to this, you can't do that because the farmers make their living out of what they grow in the fields. And you can't go into a field without treading on something and breaking it and killing it. Right, there are 52 children here this week and 12 adults, which makes altogether 64, I think, is that right? And there's one mother and another mother coming. That's a terrific lot of people to sleep in a house this size, and there's a terrific amount of work required. What's required from you is that you bear in mind that many people are living in the house and try and help everybody. Now, that means that all of you are going to have jobs to do. Over 11s can take charge of doing the jobs. Now, the people we have to watch, Kevin is very unenthusiastic and doesn't like doing his job, so when we're doing jobs, will everyone keep a very firm eye on Kevin? The last thing is money. Have you all given your money to Chris? Yes. Well, those who haven't, could you go and could you come around and see Chris afterwards? Now, the way we're going to look after the money this time? Yes, okay. The way we're going to look after the money this time is that it's like a bank account, all right? And we're going to run a shop here, and you'll be running it yourselves. You don't have to hand money over at the shop. All you have to do is go and take what you want, and it'll be written down and taken from your account.
A gentleman called Chris came into the shop and ordered so many loaves. And I thought at the moment, well, it's quite a lot of bread to order. But then I asked him who the bread was for, and he said for the Noah's Ark Children's Venture. And then, of course, I realized that there were a lot of new faces in the village. I'll speak as I find, and I found that they were very well behaved and very good. There's only one thing, of course, they did put their little bits of paper as they left the shop.
Well, I first noticed the green bus bashing to and fro, and the children started to wave. I waved back, became more curious, so I wandered up to find out what was happening up there. The kids were all having a jolly good time, and I thought pottery might be very enjoyable for them, so I invited them down. They came down, and we had a great time. Made lots of super pots. A good time was had by all.
Okay, off you go. Let's see what you can do, and I'll carry on with mine. Support it with your other hand. Really get stuck in. Come on, really push those thumbs in. It's no good playing around. It's quite tough. Get your other hand in on it. Look, grab hold.
She done a round bowl. She put her foot on the wheel, and she made this round thing. She was putting the water on it. She's pushing her feet down on the floor.
Yeah.
And she's putting the water over it.
When you've got a little shape, you only need your hands. You don't need any tools. Look, you can make...
off this! Exercise! Yes, take the gun!
We want to charge around 3 times. On the third
We asked the farmer if we could build a big haystack, right? And we built a castle, and we was all got these paper things in it, and there's battle, like, and loads of people was standing on the castle, and we had to attack the castle. And Catweasel was the leader of the castle, and we was running round 3 times. We had to run around 3 times and then kick it down, like, because we wanted it to be a long battle.
Where are them little chickens?
And telling him to me about they use the good old Liberal election.
As it should happen, that the fact that they have stayed hasn't made any disruption to the way that the place is run.
When you're living with children for 24 hours a day, all sorts of problems can crop up, and sometimes this can get in the way of a spontaneous relationship with the children. Sometimes, and fairly often, in the evening when the kids are settled, staff and any parents who are there get together and we can sort out any problems that may have arisen and have a drink and a chat together.
Without wishing to come down very hard on them and to treat them badly, we've just had to treat them naturally, and from that point of view, I should think that they think that we've forgotten all about the issue.
And we can see in the case of Tony, it has upset him. And he's really concerned about establishing relationships with us, and that's very important to him. And what he's trying to do now is get a chink in the staff, find the member of staff who's most likely to come through. And he's been working on you, Val. And in fact, you're establishing a friendly relationship with him again, and also a bit with Anne. And I think he's now working on the boys, and he's very difficult to very difficult to give into.
And the garden was so big, like, so we could camp there. And, you know, we was camping here for all the week.
Oh, did you sleep well?
Yeah, it was all right.
We wanted to camp out because we were sleeping in the house for a couple of nights and that, but we wanted a change, so we went and camped out. In the morning when we woke up, we had to get a load of wood and that for the fire and cook our own breakfast, and we had beans and egg and tea and that. Oh, it tasted all right, I suppose, for our own cooking and that.
Just crack it on the stone, or on the edge of the plate, while I hold it.
My brother has it all the way. I'll get rid of it. Can I finish on the start on Tuesday? Yeah. Start it today. Mechanics or something? Engineers.
Then we can go to Blakeney. Blakeney is the nearest seaside town. You can hire boats out there for 12.5, and we've got our own boat there. The tide isn't right for our own boat. The little boats could go out. If the weather isn't too good, there's not an awful lot to do there, but it is a nice place.
The third day, we went out. It was best at Blakeney because we had all canoes there, rowing boats. But the canoes went up.
try to make the holiday an extension of the adventure playground. Some of the children wouldn't have a holiday at all if it were not for the Noah's Ark. But of course, the main purpose of the holiday scheme is for children to go away from the town with their friends and play leaders, to learn to enjoy living together in the countryside. Many of the children have some sort of problem. Maybe it's emotional, or maybe it's with the police. Much of it is to do with their living in a place like Deptford. For example, one of the boys that we brought away with us on holiday in the first week had been in trouble through with the police for stealing at home, and in fact was put on probation. Came to Deptford about a year ago, and when he came to Deptford was a very polite lad, very nice in fact. And I've seen through the year that he's got mixed up with the sort of people in the community that have led him astray. In that he's been into some trouble with the police. This is all due to the fact that he's been trying to fit into the community that he lives in. And I think he probably, well, I hope anyway, he benefited from the holiday scheme by us being able to take him away from the environment. It doesn't necessarily take him away from his friends, of course. We hope anyway that it keeps them all out of trouble, although that's not always the case. In many cases, haven't been to the seaside before. In fact, although it sounds very fictional, there was one child who went to the seaside and on this very big beach that we go to, and was going down to the sea and came to a large puddle in the middle of the beach, and thought it was the sea and jumped into it and said, "Here I am at the sea." It sounds really ridiculous, but that's the way it is.
Come, hey, Sean, go and dig your hole in the thing there, come on. Peter, dig a hole right through it. And start right at the bottom. No, don't start up there, Sean, start down the bottom. And dig right through so you can crawl under it.
Sort of sound.
I need to stand on top of there.
Do you want to stand on top again?
Yeah. No more! Yeah! Oh, look at his tail, Cat. They're not long.
Long way away.
I want to get bloody changed. Get off! Get off! Oh! Get off for now, just stay off for now.
Well, come and see if you can find a seat for a minute so we can count you. Right, could you sit down a second there, please? Bad that it's a problem at the moment. And the worst part is when children go into the shop in the village. You'll all have to have a turn. It's clearing up the litter.
You are sweet and fair, my queen, but Snow White still the same.
Because it's very difficult to cook for so many people, while we're cooking, we close off the kitchen altogether, and Anne and Val are going to be responsible for most of the cooking this week.
Dorothy, why aren't you in bed?
I'm not in bed. I want orange.
Where's Karen? I've got it.
Anyone else want orange? You want orange? No.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's dawn.
This year, altogether, there were 236 children that had a summer holiday at the house in Norfolk. They were from Greenwich, New Cross, Deptford, Lewisham area, and that's twice as many as we took last year, but it's still really only a drop in the ocean.
But come me back when summer's in the meadow, oh, when the fall is rust and white with snow. 'Tis when summer always shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you.